I'm Dan Morris, you're watching Bosun Dan Bushcraft, and today we are back in the woods, finally. I know I've taken a little bit of a break because I've been busy doing motorcycle tours and family stuff and all this, that and the other, but today we are back in the woods, and today what we're going to be doing is lighting a fire using only the axe and the little ferro rod. Why? Because it has all too often been said to me that the #1 tool in bushcraft is the knife, and I personally couldn't disagree more. I think the #1 tool in bushcraft is the axe, and one of the main reasons people justify to me why the knife is the #1 tool is fire. Basically preparing all the little bits of stuff that you need to make a fire. So today we're going to do it without a knife, just with the axe and the old ferro rod. We seem to be a bit light on the birch trees where I've chosen to be today, which is obviously a previous location, because you can see that the fiddly effing bench still stands with my table. I had expected that some yobbos would have smashed that by now. I guess nobody's found it. Either that or they were just that perplexed they thought they would leave it like a natural statue. Now I wish I brought some grub and had a Barbie while I was here, but can't have everything. So, as always, whenever there's a fire to be had, start by securing your final result fuel. The big logs is what you want once the fire's burning right. And I am going to employ my usual favoured firewood processing method, where I'm just going to run halfway through it with Freya the axe and then just snap the damn thing. Probably snap under their own weight after a good couple of shots, to be fair. This stuff was all dead standing, very nicely nice, hidden amongst the trees out the way of the weather, so it should be good dry stuff. I mean, I say, personally, #1 tool in bushcraft is the axe. But I suppose, depending on what you're used to using, it could just as easy be a parang or a bill hook. I know Sticks from Sticks Outdoors, he prefers bill hooks and things for these sorts of tasks. Or certainly for building tasks. It doesn't have to be the axe. My point is that an axe or a parang or a bill hook, or even a machete to some extent, they can all be a knife. A knife cannot be an axe. Ever. No matter what you do to it. A knife is never going to be an axe. Whereas, if you're good at sharpening your axes and you keep a really good edge on them, an axe can always be a knife. At least that's my belief. Right. So there we have a lovely pile of firewood. Obviously all the big fuely ones at the bottom, getting thinner as we get to the top, and then on the top of the pile waiting for the flame is a load of quite thin split sticks. Now these aren't super stupid thin, because for this particular one I don't think I'll need them stupid thin because of what I'm planning to do with something else. I'll show you that in just a moment. Naturally, the harder the weather or the harder the problems, go thinner and thinner and thinner until you're shaving them. There is a technique that I was going to use today, but I just don't think I need to. I'll just explain briefly what it is. You can make quite good tinder with the flat part of the back of your axe, the bit that everybody goes, it's not a hammer. Yeah, it is. Use it as a hammer, put it on a solid log and gently beat it until the fibres separate and it gets quite fluffy and spindly. Makes for great tinder. Bit of a weird day today. It was sunny earlier, but now it's gone a little overcast. I haven't had any rain yet, but deep inside this now green and lush forest, like you guys have seen this particular woodland with me in so many different guises, and now it's green and lush, and therefore a lot of it is still a little damp, but I don't think that'll be an issue because of what I've got. So, as I just said, because of what I've got, I don't think I'm going to struggle with anything, because what I've actually got is a load of pine knots, freshly just knocked out of dead pine trees over there. Now these are all full of mayor wood. You can see the colour of it in there. That'll be my replacement for birch bark, but these are also going to become my little sticks. I figure that if I can chop these up nice and small and use them as my sort of first light sticks, because they're so full of resin, they should literally just go up like you wouldn't believe. Magic. So really what I want to do with them is turn them into sticks before I start worrying about getting the actual shaved mayor out that I'm going to want. So unfortunately these are quite small, so it is going to be a little bit of a challenge to get them in stick form. I mean, I could just get another log and use it as a mallet. That'd be easier. Clean up my mallet here because there's a few knots there that won't help. And it's got a lovely curve that side that'll make quite a good little mallet. Hammer storage. And do this really quite gently. Otherwise, they're just going to fly off everywhere. And I want these really quite thin. Now, actually, with mayor wood, the old hammer technique works pretty well. You can see how it starts opening up and going fluffy. I'm not going to do that because, to be honest, I don't think I need to. I think I can literally just keep refining these into smaller and smaller little stickies. Right, well, I'll get on with that. It's just dead pulpy and punky on the outside, all dead fluffy stuff, which is fairly little use. I want the juicy goodness out the middle. Right then. So, I'm at the point now where I need to make really, really tiny pieces of mayor wood, and then eventually the mayor shavings that are going to actually take the flame from the start. So, there's all the knife fanatics with their the knife is the #1 tool in bushcraft. Well, this is how I get around that problem when you only have an axe. Now, it does mean I'm going to have to make a little sacrifice to the towel that takes all the abuse when I'm doing this sort of stuff. Straight through the towel. Lovely. Leaving it relatively secure there. Now what I'm going to do is, I want those little spindly bits of stick, don't I, to start with. And these are those bits that I said earlier, oh, I'm going to save them, I'm going to use them to make my very fine mayor shavings. So this isn't the silly fine, this is for the, well, the first stage. Obviously the actual mayor stage, it's going to take the flame, is going to come a bit later on. But you can see how, with this, you can get a jolly good collection without too much time whatsoever. And unlike, say, making feather sticks and stuff, where you might slip with the knife, you're pulling away from your blade, you're very unlikely you're going to slip and slice yourself anyway. So as usual, guys, I'm going to crack on with this. I'll come back to you when I've got a jolly good collection. So I've got some of the second phase of the first lighting, and what I'm doing now is just using very light pressure and making really fine fluffy curls. And so those fine fluffy curls are what's going to take the spark in the first place. And you do need those to be quite thin. Plenty of them. Nope, I think the piece I've got was the best piece. Right then, so you see we've got everything arranged, because like I say, organisation here really is the key to success with anything like this. If you just look around there, you can see my pile of other wires. I've got the Mayer wood sticks ready to go, and then all the smaller stuff on top of the actual big fuel. Just what you want. And I have a little collection of the Mayer wood shavings, the very fine shavings, the thicker shavings, and the Mayer wood sticks. Now I am actually using my Wazoo necklace ferro rod, which these are great, they work just fine, but a lot depends on accuracy. So I may have to edit this. It might take me 5, 6, 7, 10 strikes to actually get it to ignite, because I'm not the most accurate yet with this little thing. I've seen other people use them and they seem to be really accurate, but in all honesty, I haven't practiced with it a whole great deal, so the chances of me getting it first strike are going to be pretty much zero. Into those shavings. Oh, tiny little flame, kind of coax it into life. This stuff seems to still be a little damp. I think I may have chosen a tree that was a touch older than I would have liked, which has made it a bit more of a struggle. You can tell by the amount of smoke and steam that it is actually quite damp today. Lovely. Well, I must admit, making fires in winter is my favourite thing. That's kind of my speciality, I think, because I just enjoy it. It means more in winter because you really need it for both heat and light. Keep the bears away, you know. Add my hammer to the equation. Molnir of the woods. Those will stop it from falling about. And we can get some of these larger ones on. Get them starting to cook up. When you're stacking them though, especially with this horizontal or long lay, make sure you've got some air gap still. You don't want to have, like, get it too tight, too close together. You'll just choke all the air up. And if the fire can't breathe, the fire can't burn. I've actually just found my one of my forks from when I came and did the birch wine one, and I had a cook. Obviously, at the end of that video where I threw it at the fire, I completely missed. In there you can go now. Right, fire is at the point now that it's definitely going to light. It's all good and looking after itself. And I'm going to sit on the old Da Vinci bench, as I haven't touched it yet since I got here. Do you know what? That is actually, now it's stood for a while and the legs have bedded in and stuff, that is even more sturdy than it was before. And I know I said this last time and I've not got around to it yet, but I would really like to come and do a camp using the Da Vinci bench, converting it into a bed, which basically just means these 4 sticks that I'm sat on right now, they just need to be made really long. And that would be a perfectly good bed. Throw a roll mat on it. Bob's your mother's brother. Table's still rock solid as well, to be fair. Can't believe nobody's found it and knocked it over yet. Perhaps they found it and they enjoyed a nice cup of tea or something else and just left it be. So just while the fire's burning in, I feel like I need some practice with this teeny weeny ferro rod, so I'm just gonna make some more Maya shavings. I mean, I got it going obviously, but gosh, it was a bit of a pain. It is a teeny ferro rod, that doesn't help, but I just figured I'd have a little practice, work on that accuracy. This is working well. These are coming off in lovely little prickles, swirls. Look at that. So let's get a little accuracy practice on the go. Just whilst my fire's burning in. Well, that wasn't bad. 3rd strike. Was it 3rd or 4th? I guess I'll find out in a minute. Well, when I edit. So that was a bit more accurate. Lovely. Don't sacrifice the towel too much. But remember, when you are making your Maya shavings to pre-light, the finer that you can get them, the better. Look at those wispy little things. And as you saw what I was doing there, I was just being really, really gentle with the action. Right, so just really gentle on that action. You can see Luke just getting fluff, which is lovely. That's what you want. Just those little furry bits. I didn't stick the axe in quite as far as I needed to. This is awkward with the camera there. So I'm not really using power. And you can see there you go, the finest little wispy shavings. And of course, the finer your shavings, the easier they should catch. And the best thing about Maya wood is if you get it from the right fallen tree, it doesn't even matter if it's a bit damp. Just like that. So, and I know everybody says, oh yeah, the knife's the #1 tool for making fire and doing all of that, but I mean, in reality, our ancestors didn't have any of that. They started off with sharp rocks and then they found flint. You know, all the sharpened antlers and things like that. They ended up with just shards of flint for butchery or making things for fire and all of that. It's easy enough to do with just an axe. And the whole point of this is all this, like, yeah, all right, I'm not even going to pretend that a knife wouldn't have been slightly easier to make the shavings or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's a hell of a lot easier to make the shavings with an axe than it is to chop up your larger wood with a knife. And you'll always get those people that says, oh yeah, but you can find firewood just lying about and blah 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 blah. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe all you've got is dead standing trees. You need them in sections, you know, it's one of them. Yes, I know you can do truncheoning and things with a knife and do small amounts of splitting and this, that and the other, but in reality that relies heavily on the kind of wood that you can find. Whereas with the axe, you've just got more freedom. You can take down bigger things without any bother, you can split bigger things, you can use it as a knife. I've used them to fillet fish with and all sorts of stuff. We'll do that at some point. It's pretty much the same as using a knife, it's just with a big round curvy blade. Da Vinci bench still stands. Ooh, wood sorrel. The Da Vinci bench still stands. The fire is going. We did indeed manage a fairly simple fire with just the axe on the ferro rod, even if, as I said, I was planning on using birch bark. Pre-planning is a beautiful thing, because I could have found many a bit of birch bark on the way here, nice and dead dry and all that, but I figured I'd just get here and wing it. And like I say, if you can't find decent birch trees, reason is probably because you're in what's mostly pine woods. We get a lot of that in the UK. There's a lot of our woodland now is planted woodland. There's very few left that are truly natural. So tree diversity isn't always a big thing, to be honest with you. But in the absence of good birch bark, it's very unlikely you won't be able to find pines. Smack a knot out of it, get at that sweet, sweet mare wood, and turn it into this. But guys, for today's video, I think that's just about all I really need to waffle about. So if you're new here, folks, consider subscribing. If you don't like it, fair enough, don't bother. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I will be back very soon, hopefully, on the next video, which I'm not even going to pretend that I know what it's going to be yet. It could be a tour video, it could be anything. I might even take it out in the camper van or something like that, I'm not sure. But this was a nice little quick one for the day. Just get in the woods, get a fire. But other than that, folks, that's it from Bosun Dan today. As always, guys, get yourselves out there, get bushcrafting, get having fun and enjoying yourselves, and above all, be safe.